Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you guys another Deathless Speedrun here on Overwatch, this time with Symmetra. Now this is Mystery Heroes once again, so a little bit easier to kind of deal with, but Symmetra is never really an easy character to use in all situations. I mean, obviously we've all had to deal with Symmetras, especially on certain defenses where she's really useful and powerful. The really only two maps where I have typically used Symmetra on purpose would be the first point, Eichenwald defense, and a little bit on Anubis a long time ago. And not really much outside of that. Obviously, Teleporter can be the best ult if you're full holding on a defense. And that is obviously what we are going to be doing here today. It doesn't really make sense that the team that we're defeating here don't get anything going, because I mean, it's not like we were getting like the best random heroes, but thankfully I stayed Symmetra the entire time because I did not die, so I got some pretty good teleporter uptime. And what's one of the weird things about Symmetra, especially with that teleport achievement, which I still do not have because I just don't play her, is that if you're playing Symmetra optimally and your team is kind of complementing Symmetra's playstyle, you're gonna do so well that you do not get the achievement of teleporting however many people, is it 20 or 15? So I don't know. I don't believe I will ever get that achievement. But setting up the car wash is always really fun when it works. Symmetra is more difficult to play nowadays than I would say the first year of Overwatch or so. More people have kind of come accustomed to doing one thing or another to counteract that. Not so many people switching to Winston because A, not many people play tanks, and B, even less people play Winston, but obviously he is the hardest of counters against Symmetra and all her turrets. Pharah is amazing, gets out of the range, takes care of them quite easily, but it's fun to deal with Genjis flying around and some Roadhogs who think that they can tank everything in the world. Obviously, when any of us have ever seen Symmetra be successful, it's when she can get that teleporter up early. So she's gonna have to get some good charge on the spawn turrets that she gets, and really can't afford to die. She can't afford to be in the fray much either. There are certain chokes, like say holding the right hallway on Anubis, where you can spam your alt shots and your shield, your barrier shield, to mitigate any sort of coming damage coming towards your teammates that might be holding that choke. But outside of those very rare instances, Symmetra is not going to be finding a whole lot of value when it comes to choke and spamming her alt fire. It's really funny on Hanamura is a map that I could use Symmetra on a little bit as well. And when you could just get that fully charged shot and just fire it away, hoping you hit something, and then you kill a tracer that blinks into it or something, it can be very satisfying to be Symmetra. And quite often I find mystery hero games as well as deathmatch games, whether it be team or solo, if someone is picking Symmetra, very, very easy play of the games with Symmetra, just because without the proper team comp, if you have 3-4 squishies in a row, she can just chain that primary fire of hers to getting a quick triple kill more consistently than any other character. Obviously, the conditions have to be right, and it's really nice that divas aren't that big of a problem against her if you have just the tiniest bit of help. But you can kind of say that in most circumstances. Symmetra is a boomer bust character, obviously, very, very niche. She was really the only character that was not picked in the Overwatch League preseason, and that's obviously for a reason. Yes, she is applicable in even some of the higher levels of competitive, and yes, she has a big win rate, but that's only because once she's not working, which you can tell fairly early on in a game, then you switch off of Sim. Sim is not somebody that you pick for the mid fight or to hold a point or to use the ult there are some circumstances where her ult can be very powerful, especially putting a shield generator on Anubis' second point, you know, keeping a Bastion or a tank alive in a fortified position. And if your enemies do not deal with teleporter, or sometimes if they don't deal with the turrets, you know, especially certain chokes, as we have 3 Symmetras there at the end, then she can do some damage. So Symmetra, kind of fun at certain times, but still not as applicable in as many situations to really take advantage of. Some people want to see a rework, but obviously, especially in the lower levels of play, she does find some uses because people don't want to fight her because she can be scary.